Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and tonight we are going to talk about backward compatibility, developer upgrades, and um, smart smart delivery on the Xbox Series X consoles. Yeah, this might be a little bit of a long video because we got some stuff to go over, and we might throw some Game Pass stuff in there. I really love Game Pass. I think it's an amazing thing. I used to manage a video game store in the 2000s. And boy, was that heartbreaking to see these kids with their parents coming in, trading in whole collections of games to get one game. That was heartbreaking. And I know, as like I've said in videos before, I know as gamers, we've all seen that before, and we've all witnessed that. We've all been there trading in games to get something else, and that that is just that is just bewildering. Like the fact that I don't know how GameStop survives Game Pass. To tell you the truth, I don't see that. I don't know, man. If Game Pass continues to be as aggressive and good a value as it has proven to be so far, yeah, I don't see how GameStop survives this. I really don't. I know, PlayStation's going to have to do something about it. They're going to have to maybe put their games on PS Plus like a month after release or 2 months after release or something. They're going to have to do it. I know right now it's pretty tough for Sony because they're out with this machine and they're still losing money on it. They're both losing money on these consoles right now, and how they get that money back is through their game sales and stuff like that. And if they ain't got enough consoles going out and enough people buying them games, they're not recouping that money fast enough. So I don't see it being profitable for Sony right now, because I don't know if their people would jump on it as fast. I mean, Sony for me as a gamer, Sony is more of that single player experience. And like, if you're into single player games, you're just going to buy what you want to buy, and that's basically the way it's always been. You just buy what you want to play. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to talk much more about Game Pass than that, but let's get on to smart access, backward compatibility, and developer upgrades that are free. So we have Metro Exodus finally gave us a launch date of June 18th for the upgraded version for next gen. This is amazing, guys, because this game already looked amazing, but now this update is free and it's coming next month. Like, I'm happy. I'm giddy. This is good news. I When I saw this news earlier today, I was thinking about it all day long, and I really love the developers that will take the time to upgrade their work to enhance that experience, to give us the best version that they envision for their game. Not only does that reassure me when they launch a new game that, hey, these guys are going to take care of me. They're going to make an amazing game, and it's going to be a good experience that if technology comes, they're going to make it better. They've done that with all of their games. They brought them forward. They've enhanced them. Metro Exodus 2033, and I didn't play those ones. Metro Exodus was the first one that I decided that, because I don't really like the corridor first-person shooter things. It's a little bit tough, and I don't. Sometimes I get dizzy when I play those games, so I don't. I try to kind of avoid those. I mean, the first Doom in 16 made me sick every time I played it. Doom Eternal, love that game. I love the open space to it. It's easier for me to not get motion sickness when I play that, which is kind of, I don't understand why I get motion sickness when I play those games, to tell you the truth. I can play everything except for those. Um, yeah, so Metro Exodus is, I'm not even gonna lie, that game sat in my backlog for, I bought it the day it came out, and it sat in my backlog for probably, gosh, a little over a year. I literally just finished playing that game, maybe during the winter time is when I finally completed it. And then I bought all the I know they announced that they were upgrading this game right after I had beaten it the first time, and I was like, "Wow, that's cool." So that made me excited, even more excited. I cannot wait because I mean, that game wasn't that long, so I'm definitely going to go back through it. I feel like I could probably get through it in about 10, 11 hours or whatever. So I'm definitely going to play through that one again. It is hard being old and having a full time job and career and stuff because Monday through Friday I'm up at 6 in the morning and I'm gone till 3:30 in the afternoon. Then I can come home and then family. We were homeschooling the kids this year and they're going back to school. This has been a nightmare for my wife. She has really struggled. She's a general manager and yeah, it's been hectic. This whole COVID thing has really kept a lot of people. It's done a lot of harm, but then it's also taught us new. It's also taught us a lot of new things about ourselves that we probably wouldn't have learned um, if it didn't happen. So hopefully this makes us stronger as a country, and hopefully it makes the world stronger, and helps us realize that we're all kind of in this together, no matter where we're at. We're all in this together, and we all need to kind of be there for each other in the long run. But back to Metro Exodus, because we don't want the world to turn into Metro Exodus. That would kind of suck. Giant cockroaches and stuff. That wouldn't be fun. So, and then next on the list is I started playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider again last night with the FPS boost on the Series X, and now it is 4K 60 frames a second. And everything I played in here, like, oh my gosh, it's super smooth and it looks amazing. Man, I was so excited when I turned that on, and just how smooth and how good that game looks. Wow, like I'm seriously having trouble finding something that looks that good on the PlayStation 5 that yeah, I mean that game is native. It looks good. It's got good tessellation in the ground. It has uh, deformation when you walk through mud. Like the jungles are really dense and popular. Like this game, like when you walk through the thing and you know when you're going through the gosh, what was it? Cinco de Mayo? No, not Cinco de Mayo. That Day of the Dead thing or whatever, where everybody's got the masks on and they're walking around the courtyard and stuff. Like this game looks freaking amazing in 4K at 60 frames a second. Like I sometimes I wonder if maybe I should just go PC so I can start seeing games like this well in advance. But like I don't know. I've always been a console gamer, and I'm satisfied with both the consoles. For the most part. Like PS5. I did the whole video yesterday about the whole checkerboard rendering thing, and I don't feel like it should be there this early in the generation, especially on stuff that could run on a PS4 and a PS4 Pro. I don't think that's Sony putting their best foot forward, and I'll call them on that every single time I see one of their games come out and it's checkerboard rendered or broken like Returnal. Like Returnal, yeah, I'm just I gave up on the game. I'm not going to play it again. I may play it sometime later in life, but right now I'm not. I don't like it. It's not my kind of game. But this Shadow of Tomb Raider, I love kind of open world games, explorable games. Uh, Definitely like pretty games. That's the whole. I mean, the whole reason to be a gamer. Like one of the reasons to be a gamer is because you want to see amazing graphics. I don't want games to look like they do in real life. I want them to look amazing. I want them to wow me when I turn them on. And Returnal does not freaking wow you for $70. Like when I hear a $70 price tag for a game, I expect a wow moment, not a oh gosh, I wish they would have done this better, because that was exactly the first that I had. It was like, really? Wow, disappointing. I wish they would have done a little bit. I wish this looked better. I sometimes, I mean, I'll sacrifice the 60 frames, for the better looking visuals, but I don't know. This generation with Xbox has really got me liking that 60 frames a second, being able to see, you know, better visuals than we saw last generation at 60 frames a second. Like that's like I'm okay with that. Even if the games just look a little bit better than they did last generation, a little bit better fidelity and stuff like that with the higher resolution and 60 frames, I would be okay with that. Like I'd be happy with that. But I know they're going to look better, and I know they're going to run better. These are definitely some powerful consoles. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that here in the future. It's going to be amazing. Then we got uh, some more some more news or some more news about him. I mean, just always. I don't know what it is about Sony these days, but things just kind of feel a little bit negative. But yeah, I don't want to dwell on the negative Sony stuff again. With Returnal and other things like that. I don't want to think about that because Sony is going to make amazing games this generation. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to buy them. I'm going to play them, and I'm going to have a good time, and it's going to be fine. Like I don't want to be a console war fella. But let's talk about smart access. Okay, this is amazing technology that Xbox was able to tie their GDK to, cross systems and PCs. So we're going to be able to get stuff made for PC easily ported to Xbox Series X, and if possible, down ported all the way to Xbox One generation. Because let's be honest, Dirt 5 on Xbox One X looked better than any racing game on last generation, hands down. It just does. It looked freaking amazing when I was playing that on my One X before I got my Series X. That game looked amazing. Um, there's no question that um, that these games that these new techniques that they develop for this new generation can be backported to older generations. There's no questions. I believe that that's possible, and I believe that might even help them make last generation games even run better and look better for sure. I feel like that's possible, and I feel like Phil Spencer when he said, "Yeah, we're gonna still make games for back gener." I think that they understood that, and they were like, "Yeah, this new technology that we brought out. Look at what we can do here." But hey, look, it actually runs on the last gen, so we can possibly keep keep the Xbox One generation alive a little bit longer until we get more people moved into the next one, which is amazing because with smart access or smart delivery, if you buy that game on last gen, you get the new gen. If you buy an Xbox Series X video game, you have an Xbox One version of it. I don't know, some developers are making two different versions that aren't uh, aren't leveraging smart access. I don't know if I don't know if those ones there are going to be, if you can like cross buy them or whatnot and still bring them with you. But I don't know. Wouldn't it be nice if companies like Ubisoft, like say I wanted to buy, you know, PlayStation 5 and a Series X version, just sell me like a double pack for $89.99 or something. That'd be amazing. I'd be cool with that. I mean, I've already buying one version of the game. Why not, give me the option to buy a double pack, one for one for each system for, a little bit more money because we all know Ubisoft games are $30 30 days later. So I don't know why they wouldn't, just do something like that, and make it an optional bundle, like, for dual console people, hey, you want to play the game and then make it so we our cross saves, like say I want to play, say I got my PlayStation in the front room and I got my Xbox in the bedroom and I'm playing on my Xbox and don't want to save, and then I go in my front room and I turn the same game on and I can play from right there. That would be amazing. Like that would be the best. I would buy every single game going forward on both at the same time. It would save me a lot of money. But um, moving forward, let's talk about. I want to give a special thanks to the developers out there that actually do upgrade their games to run on next gen hardware and don't charge you for it. You guys are amazing, and I will definitely like. I know me personally. That makes me more that makes me feel better about buying your individual games. That makes me feel like 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 my investment in your game is going to be, you know, respected. And you know, I there are so many games that come out, and like I buy them, and if they would just get, you know, that extra, you know, added boost, you know, like that would be amazing, you know. And I because I mean there's games like Assassin's Creed, they come out every year, every 2 years, whatever. I still think that they should support these games and still bring them up to, because some of them games are amazing. I don't want to wait 5 years and buy it again with a new coat of paint. I want them to upgrade the one I already bought. That to me, I mean, even if they charge me 5 years later, you know, like a $10 upgrade fee, whatever. As long as they upgrade my experience, I'm grateful to the developers that don't make me pay, but I also would pay for that because I know they have to put more work into it. I know they have to, you know, get, you know, everybody's shareholders to like, oh yeah, you can upgrade that and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just where that is with me. I mean, I really appreciate the developers that do that. And I mean, Sony making us pay $20 more for an upgraded version of Spider-Man, like that. I mean, whatever. You know, I wanted that new update, so I paid for it. But I've already paid almost $100 for the base one because I didn't buy the deluxe version at the time. I bought each individual DLC as it launched, and they were what, like $10 or $15. I don't remember. I know that it was like almost $100 for the Spider-Man when it was all said and done after tax and everything. And then they make me pay another $20 plus $50 for that DLC, which I thought it was worth it. You get the whole city again, you get new story, you get new content, better visuals. Yeah, I mean it was fine. Miles Morales was definitely worth $50. Like that was fun. Spider-Man, the remastered version, that was definitely worth the $20 as well. I mean it was worth it. It was money well spent. I had a good time. I still play it. Swinging through New York at 60 frames a second with ray tracing is pretty nice, even though it's checkerboarded, you know. But it looks good. Insomniac is really good at what they do. You can barely notice the temporal injection is what they call it or whatever, but it's still the same thing. But for some reason, their method really does hold up really well, and you can barely tell. So that is acceptable, especially because you get like the 4K with the ray tracing at 30 frames a second, which is still like it looks really good. And you know, 4K at 60, that looks good too. Um, yeah, I don't know where I stand on that. I mean, I do like the free upgrades. That definitely, you know, makes me more willing to buy the next game day one. Um, the ones that charge me for it, you know, I guess depending on the game or how much the value is to me, if I, you know, I mean, if it's all right, I don't know where I stand with that. I mean, to me, it's kind of like a microtransaction. To tell you the truth, it's all the same. These, like, I get it. You know, you spend $100 million to develop and promote a game, and then you got to make that money back and pay all the staff and everything else. Like, I get it. Like, I understand. I'm not a kid that thinks money grows on trees and everything like that, and everything should be free. Like, I'm more than willing to pay for. I'm more than willing to pay for a good solid product, you know. And these days, you know, I mean, we all want that quality, but we don't want to pay for it. And like I don't know. I mean, I do. I like my games open world. I like them long. I love racing games. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to smart delivery and developer developer upgrades and things like FPS boost and backwards compatibility, the backwards compatibility with this generation with the Xbox is unfreaking believable. Like I am 100% satisfied with that. That Xbox Series X is more than worth the cost for that feature alone. I don't know if I can stress that enough. Like that is worth. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could say it's the Xbox One X, just a beefed up one that runs. I'm fine with that. If you were a PC game player and you wanted a new graphics card, you're going to pay $500 for a new graphics card. You're going to pay $300 for a new CPU. You're going to pay for these upgrades, which is why the Series X is more of a value than you even realize, because you've already bought those games. You've already bought these expensive controllers. You already have all of this stuff that you don't need to buy again. All you need to buy is the console and whatever new games you want when they come out. Like, that's a freaking steal. With the PlayStation 5, I had to buy a new camera. That camera right there won't even work with my VR because my VR camera's like broken, and I can't find one because they quit making them. So now I got to figure out how to get another one of those stupid cameras because that one won't work. You have to buy everything new. All your new controllers, like your PS4 controllers, will work with backward games, but they won't work forward. Like, I don't know. There was like a switch or something. Like, PlayStation became Xbox and Xbox became PlayStation somewhere along the road. Like, I don't know. Sony's always kind of made you pay for everything again. Xbox used to be like that, but yeah, like I am 100% sold on the backward compatibility for the Series X. They have all the games that have taken advantage of the upgrades for the Series X have been more than worth. I Let's say I have 50 games that have gotten some sort of boost from the Xbox Series X, whether that be the dynamic resolution hitting 4K, the frame rate hitting 60 frames a second because it was unlocked, FPS boost, HDR, auto HDR, or just any of the other things that have taken advantage of the Series X hardware. If I had 50 games and those games were going to charge me $10 a pop for an upgrade, that right there is worth the $500 upgrade that I would have had to pay for all those games. So right there, I mean, just thinking about it that way, yeah, there you go, man. Xbox is paid for, and I got all of that and more. I got 50 games is just a base thing, to get the cost, but I've gotten way more than that. I got Game Pass. I can download games that I normally, wouldn't buy but want to try. And if I don't like them, I'm not out any money. I'm out what, the $15, but $15 to play whatever games I want on Game Pass. That's not a big deal. I mean, I get my gold with that. I mean, that is a good value. Game Pass is an extremely good value. Um, yeah, I am very content with the backward compatibility of the Xbox Series X. It is more than worth the upgrade to me. Whereas the PlayStation, I haven't had it long enough to where it has made sense. Everything on my PlayStation 5, on my PS4 games that I play on my PS5, it's really a hit and miss. I haven't seen any life-changing thing. I mean, God of War, but that had to get a patch. Ghost of Tsushima, that had to get a patch. Days Gone had to get a patch. But I mean, they look amazing, but everything beneath that is like, and it's a PS4 version. Like, yeah, it just I don't feel like the backward compatibility of the PlayStation 5 is even in the same league as Xbox on any level at all, like even a little bit. When I think of what Xbox has done for me in terms of like upgrading games like Forza Horizon 4 and Gears 5 and like Halo, the Halo Master Chief Collection and all these other things that they've went out and put developer work into to bring up to code. And the only thing Sony gave us is a $20 upgrade for Spider-Man. Um, it'd have been nice if they'd upgraded Ghost of Tsushima to 4K, 60 frames a second with higher grade textures and fidelity and everything. Like, that game's always going to have a special place in my heart because that was the game I was playing the last time I heard my mom's voice. So I'm always gonna, have Ghost of Tsushima be a part of my life. And then you've got uh, God of War. I mean, yeah, they could have went into these games and upgraded them a little better. If that was their case, their selling point. It would have been cheaper for them to upgrade those than to do full-fledged new games. I mean, Like, I get why Microsoft is doing what they're doing. They just bought all these studios and they're trying to put together a better generation this year, this generation. So I hope they make it. And I hope it does. I hope it does good. I'm rooting for both teams, and I really hope that we see some amazing things this generation. And I think that's going to do it for us tonight. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.